Like, what a noticeable difference over the base PS5, truly, for sure. There's more aliasing, at least that I can tell. But it's not bad. When I say not bad, not even, it's normal for your PSVR2 games, I want to say, for a lot of them. In quality mode on the PS5 Pro, I am surprised to say, you know, the aliasing has been reduced almost completely. We're doing performance. Going quality mode this time. After putting in 25 hours on the PS5 Pro playing on performance mode, you know, I really cannot see a difference when I'm looking at the scales here. Anything up close whatsoever looks exactly as it does on the PS5 Pro. And just to speak to that, the PS5 Pro Performance Mode, which is not shown here, is really the PS5 Quality Mode at 90 frames per second. So that's totally why I chose to play that way. However, now that I'm seeing the base PS5 Performance Mode here, you know, I'm really surprised at how well this game actually still looks. Even as I'm slowly walking along the edge here, looking down at the water, I swear I can't make any difference out. The shadows are a little sharper on the Pro Quality here, but it's the distance, the draw distance. When you're looking at objects in the background, right here, I'm pointing at the cathedral. Notice how the aliasing is more pronounced on the base PS5 Performance Mode versus the Pro Performance Mode. It looks a lot smoother and slightly sharper on the bricks and windows there, again at 90 frames per second versus 60. And now look how much better the PS5 Pro Quality is over the base PS5 Performance. Noticeably sharper with more detail and almost no aliasing. But again, just to reiterate, everything up close looks identical on the PS5 Performance Mode versus the PS5 Pro Quality. However, when I am looking at objects up close and moving in PS5 Pro Quality, you do see that reprojection ever so slightly, but not on screen here, it barely catches it. Now what's really cool is that when I'm sprinting around the area, there is no blur whatsoever when I'm looking around. That reprojection is not noticeable as you're seeing me sprint around the cathedral here. But back to the most evident difference between the PS5 Performance and the PS5 Pro Performance Mode. As you're seeing here, I'm pointing up at the aliasing at the top of the castle. You can clearly see on the left-hand side here the aliasing that's going on as I'm tilting my head left and right. Versus the right side, the PS5 Pro Performance Mode, it is drastically reduced. You know, you absolutely see the difference here. However, when I show you the base PS5 Performance Mode versus the PS5 Pro Quality Mode, oh my goodness, you immediately see the difference. There is no aliasing going on. You really have to look for it as you're tilting your head left and right here. Man, I'm completely astounded. And the next thing that I wanted to test was the water and to see whether or not there's any difference whatsoever. And honestly, as I'm swimming around here looking at the surface, peering up at the castle above, I really cannot see any difference whatsoever. I think if you were to throw me in the game and I didn't know what console I was playing on, I would not be able to answer with confidence. Even as I'm swimming around here, everything is just butter smooth. And as I'm approaching the crystal, you know, I can say there's a little bit extra sharpness on the PS5 Pro Quality here. But the most important part is the actual combat and how well it plays. On the left side, you are seeing the PS5 Performance Mode at 90 frames per second, and on the right side, you're seeing the PS5 Pro Quality Mode at 60 frames reprojected. However, you will not be able to see the actual difference because the video itself that you're seeing right now is only 1080p at 60 frames per second. See that ghosting? I'm gonna run by this bell. I do 100%. You might not at all. Might be only in my headset. Yeah, it's like a subtle double vision. Not completely over, but just a subtle overlap for a second. Not even a second, actually. Again, that's in a lot of PSVR2 games, so this is not a negative. Just trying to point out performance versus quality. So I guess, yeah, it's that ghosting and the frames per second, the 60. Which, to be honest with you, is excellent on flat screen games, you know, going from 30 to a 60 frame per second. But when you're in VR, and you go to like a 90 or a 120, even better, truly, it is noticeable. It's just something that feels perfectly one-to-one with everything. So that's hard to recommend. I don't know whether to tell you to do performance or quality. I think you'd be happy with either or, but well, that is my quick analysis, guys. You know, if you have any other questions or comments, or if you want me to test something else out that I'm not showing yet, please let me know, and I think I'd be happy to make that for you if I have the time. If a sale isn't happening every week, I would love to do more of these types of videos.